All right, let me ask you something. Have you ever met a bird that talks back to you? Not just the usual caw or chirp, but actually speaks. Because I have, and let me tell you, it was one of the weirdest and most amazing experiences of my life. There's this bird sanctuary, right? A place where rescued birds get to live out their days safe and cared for. And in this place, among all the parrots, owls and hawks, there was one bird who thought he was the star of the show. His name was Tuck. Tuck wasn't just any bird. He was an African pied crow, a type of raven, and let me tell you, this bird had personality. He wasn't just smart, he was too smart. Almost like he had been a person in a past life or something, and the way he acted, like he knew he was special. But here's the kicker. Tuck didn't grow up in the wild like other ravens. He didn't get to fly freely in the open sky, didn't learn to hunt, didn't even know what it felt like to soar over trees. Nope, Tuck was raised by humans. Rescued from a pet store when he was just a baby, he had lived his whole life surrounded by people. And that changed everything. So picture this. You walk into the sanctuary, maybe expecting some quiet, peaceful bird watching. And then, out of nowhere, you hear, "Hello, hello, hello, hi." You look around, thinking, who just said that? And there he is, a big, glossy black bird, staring right at you like he's expecting a reply. That was Tuck's thing. He talked a lot. But he didn't just repeat words like a parrot. Oh no, Tuck actually knew how to use them. His favorite, what? What? He'd say it over and over, like he was demanding an answer. If people were ignoring him, what? What? Until someone finally gave him attention. I mean, how could you ignore that? It was like he knew how to get people to look his way. And the crazy part, no one ever taught him to do this. He just picked it up all on his own. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Tuck wasn't just about talking. He learned things too. His caretaker decided to test just how smart he really was. They gave him a set of objects, including a few tires. One of them was his tire, something he had played with before, the goal. See if he could pick out which one was his. And guess what? He nailed it every time. It was like he had a photographic memory or something. He could tell exactly which tire belonged to him, no matter how many were placed in front of him. I don't know about you, but that's wild to me. A bird being able to do that? That's next level intelligence. And speaking of intelligence, Tuck knew how to get what he wanted in another way too. Now this part, it still cracks me up. Tuck loved women, and I mean loved them. Whenever a woman walked into the sanctuary, he turned into the biggest show-off. He'd spread his wings, hop around, make cute little noises, anything to get attention. And the best part, it worked. Every single time. Women would stop, fawn over him, tell them how cute he was. And Tuck? Oh, he soaked it all in. I swear, if this bird was human, he'd be the guy at the bar who winks at every girl and somehow never gets rejected. But it wasn't just human voices Tuck could mimic. He had another trick up his sleeve. So, the sanctuary was near a pond, and at night you'd hear all kinds of noises. Crickets, owls, and most of all, frogs. And Tuck, he picked up on that real quick. One day out of nowhere, he started making these deep, croaky sounds. People thought, oh, that must be a frog nearby. But nope, it was Tuck. He had learned to mimic the sound exactly. If you closed your eyes, you'd swear there was an actual frog sitting right next to you. How crazy is that? A raven doing a perfect frog impression. At this point, it was obvious. Tuck wasn't just smart, he was special. But for all his talents, there was one thing Tuck couldn't do. He couldn't fly. See, as he got older, arthritis started creeping in. His wings, his legs, they just didn't work the way they should. And that broke my heart a little. Because think about it, a bird's whole life is supposed to be about flying, feeling the wind soaring through the sky. But Tuck, he never got to experience that. But you know what? That never stopped him. He was still the most confident, lively, and full of life bird in that entire sanctuary. He owned who he was. He didn't sit around feeling sorry for himself. He made the best of what he had. And honestly, there's something really inspiring about that. Tuck's story isn't just about a bird who talks and shows off for women. It's about resilience, about finding joy, no matter what life throws at you. He couldn't fly, but that didn't mean he wasn't special. And maybe that's something we all need to remember. Because let's be real, we all have things in life that hold us back. Maybe it's a challenge, a setback, something we wish we could do but can't. But does that mean we can't be happy? Does that mean we're any less important? Not at all. Tuck proved that you don't have to be like everyone else to have a place in the world. You just have to own who you are. And here's the thing, there are so many birds like Tuck. Birds who've been rescued, who need care, who deserve a safe home. That's where you come in. If you want to help, there are a few simple things you can do. You can visit the sanctuary, spread the word, or even donate. Every little bit makes a difference. Because Tuck, he's just one of many, and they all deserve love, just like he got. So, if this story meant something to you, if you connected with Tuck even just a little, consider being part of something bigger. Because every bird, no matter their story, deserves a place to call home. And maybe, just maybe, we can all learn a little something from a raven who never let life's limits define him.